In the heart of Houston, Texas, a company once stood as a symbol of American innovation. Enron, an energy giant built on promises of deregulation, digital markets, and limitless profits. With sky-high stock prices and media worship, its name became synonymous with success. But behind the glass towers and grinning executives, something far more sinister was brewing. At the helm were two powerful men, Ken Lay, the polished founder and political insider, and Jeffrey Skilling, the ambitious executive who dreamed of transforming Enron into a high-tech trading empire. Together, they sold a vision of limitless energy markets, fast, digital, and global. Wall Street bought the dream. So did the world. Enron wasn't just an energy company, it branded itself as a tech pioneer. With its launch of Enron Online, executives claimed they were creating the Amazon of energy. Investors rushed in. Analysts cheered. But behind the cutting-edge image was a dangerous truth: Enron was masking its failures with hype, not performance. At the heart of Enron's deception was a single accounting trick: mark-to-market. Instead of recording actual profits, they booked projected future earnings, often from deals that hadn't even made money yet. On paper, it looked like explosive growth. In reality, it was smoke and mirrors, signed off by accountants who should have known better. Inside Enron's walls, the pressure to perform was suffocating. Every employee was ranked, judged, and constantly reminded: produce or be replaced. The culture rewarded risk and punished honesty. Executives pushed for profits at any cost, creating an environment where lies weren't just overlooked, they were expected. Behind the scenes, Enron's chief financial officer, Andrew Fastow, built a web of secret partnerships, shell companies designed to hide Enron's debt and inflate its profits. These off-the-books entities made the company look healthier than it was. And while Enron soared, Fastow quietly pocketed millions. As Enron's actual performance faltered, the company doubled down on deception. Loss-making divisions were buried in Fastow's shadow partnerships. Executives used these entities to dump bad debt and keep the stock price climbing. To investors, Enron still looked golden. But beneath the surface, the company was bleeding out. Enron's stock price became its lifeline. Executives were obsessed with keeping it rising, because their bonuses, image, and even survival depended on it. Analysts raved. Reporters praised. But no one asked why a company with unclear profits kept climbing. The illusion had become more valuable than the truth. The media hailed Enron as a revolutionary force. Magazines featured Skilling and Lay as visionaries. Analysts called it a can't-miss stock. Few understood the company's business, but no one wanted to miss the ride. Wall Street was cheering for Enron to succeed, even as the truth was buried beneath its headlines. Not everyone was fooled. Inside Enron, a few employees saw the cracks and raised concerns. One of them was Sharon Watkins, a VP who warned executives that the company was on the brink of collapse. But in a culture built on silence and fear, truth-tellers were ignored, or buried. By late 2001, the walls began to close in. Journalists started asking tough questions. Analysts grew suspicious of Enron's vague financials. The stock, once sky-high, began to tremble. Inside the company, panic set in. For the first time, Enron's myth was being challenged, and the cracks were turning into fractures. In August 2001, Jeffrey Skilling suddenly resigned as CEO, citing personal reasons. Behind closed doors, insiders knew the truth: the financial lies were catching up. His departure sent shockwaves through Wall Street, and confidence in Enron began to unravel. The visionary had jumped ship, and panic followed. As questions mounted, the Securities and Exchange Commission launched a formal investigation. Subpoenas were issued, documents scrutinized, and Enron's complex web of partnerships was exposed. The company's carefully crafted facade began to crumble under the weight of regulatory pressure. On December 2, 2001, Enron filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the largest in U.S. history at the time. Once hailed as a titan of industry, the company's collapse wiped out thousands of jobs, shattered retirement accounts, and stunned the nation. The energy giant was no more. Thousands of investors lost life savings overnight. Pension funds evaporated, and charitable foundations faced ruin. Trust in the stock market was shaken to its core. The human cost of corporate greed became painfully clear. As the dust settled, lawsuits flooded in, from investors, employees, and regulators. Enron's executives faced a barrage of criminal and civil charges. The courtroom battles would drag on for years, exposing more secrets and holding some of Wall Street's most powerful accountable. As the dust settled, lawsuits flooded in, from investors, employees, and regulators. Enron's executives faced a barrage of criminal and civil charges. The courtroom battles would drag on for years, exposing more secrets and holding some of Wall Street's most powerful accountable. The courtroom drama captivated the nation. Prosecutors detailed the web of deceit, while defense attorneys painted a different picture. In 2006, Jeffrey Skilling was convicted on multiple counts of fraud and conspiracy. Ken Lay's trial ended abruptly with his untimely death before sentencing, leaving many questions unanswered. In 2006, Jeffrey Skilling was sentenced to 24 years in prison for his role in the fraud. Ken Lay, who died before sentencing, was posthumously convicted. The sentences sent a message: corporate greed and deception come with a heavy price. Yet, for many victims, justice felt incomplete. Enron's collapse sent shockwaves through corporate America. It exposed the dark side of unchecked ambition and weak oversight. New laws, like Sarbanes-Oxley, aimed to restore trust and tighten regulations, but the scars from Enron's downfall would linger for decades. The Enron scandal remains one of the greatest lessons in corporate greed and ethical failure. It reminds us that behind every soaring stock price, there must be real value, and that transparency and accountability are essential. For investors and corporations alike, Enron's story is a cautionary tale that echoes through history. The Enron scandal changed the face of corporate America forever. It serves as a stark reminder that unchecked greed and deception can bring even the mightiest down. Stay informed, question what you hear, and always demand transparency, because your financial future depends on it. If you found this story eye-opening, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to explore more stories of financial crimes and scandals. Thanks for watching.